Mute Maniac here, and today's video is part of our newbie series that I created. I'm going to be doing a series within a series, and this is part one of Relics. Relics are complicated. I have shot 3 Relic videos so far that I have not released because they're so long. It's a lot to talk about. So we're going to do it in parts. So we'll call this one Part 1 Relic Types. And we're going to talk about where to find the relics. And I'll lightly go on, I'll talk about relics that are most used and why. Then we'll do a relic synergy video. Then I will do a forging and polishing video. And that should cover all relics up. We're going to do it in 3. So in this one, we're going to talk about types, where to get your relics, and kind of go from there. So getting relics, there's a couple different ways to get them. First way is from the summon boxes. So if you go to, they're called relic chests. And each relic chest will let you get a certain number of relics. There's the normal type, and there's this other type, which I think they call, like, what are they calling them? They are calling them rare and special. Okay? So rare, normal, special. All of these are coming from those boxes. All right? So when you go to the relic boxes, there's 3 different ways. There's 3 different chests. There's the relic chest, there's the king, and then there's the god. Okay? So that's pretty much what you got. Now, if you click on this little icon, and you click the little down arrow, it'll tell you all the stuff that you can get. Okay? So the normal relic chest will give you, or the common, will give you an opportunity to get pieces. So all of these are, actually, no, these are going to be full. They'll be relics and pieces, excuse me. So all of these are relics and relic pieces that you can get. And there's a chance on the side here. And so if we go to the common, the only real difference is they will give you an intact relic guarantee, meaning you'll have the common, there's no guarantee you're going to get an intact relic. You might just get pieces of them and you'll have to forge them. But the god box, or the king box, excuse me, you're guaranteed to get at least one of these, and then you can also get these. So the biggest difference is going to be in that aside from the relics themselves, you also get these things for the forge. So combined stones, forging stones, catalysts, and we'll talk about that in a separate video. But to obtain your relics, that's going to be how you get them from this box. And then the best box is going to be the God box, which gives you a better guarantee. Instead of getting the completed relics, you're guaranteed one of these. And what you really want is the king polishing stones. You have a 1 in 10 chance of getting a king magical polishing stone. You definitely want these. You definitely want, all of these are good. And so the best chest to farm for are going to be these. The gold keys are the most important. And this lets you re-roll certain stats on a relic. This lets you guarantee that a re-roll will be a stat that you want. It's a catalyst, so you can actually force it to be all, all attack speed, or all damage, or all health. And this lets you increase the damage, increase the the amount of percent bonus you get or move the bonus from one slot to another. So that's pretty complicated. We'll talk about that in a separate video. We'll stick to relics here. And of course, you can get all of the other, not pieces, but almost finished relics here. Very rarely will you get a piece. You're going to get a lot of finished relics. So that's where you get the normal ones. And in the beginning of the game, if you're a new player, they're going to throw keys at you like it's your birthday. So when we go to type, if we go to normal type are all going to be around equipment. That's the theme. So you'll have like this gives you 40% HP for your armor equipment. So when you're playing a game and you get that equipment in game while you're playing, this is going to give bonus. These are going to give bonuses to those pieces of equipment. This is great for new players, not really used so much in mid to late game. Then the rares are going to be all around boosting your rewards. Okay, so this gives you additional XP. That's the horn. This is going to give you additional gold. And book is going to give you additional expedition mode rewards. So if you want to build a team specifically for going on expedition, which is a mode where you will farm either gold, books, or crowns, this is for that. I've been playing for 170 days. I never use these. But when the game was young, when there was only so many chapters available, I think these were more important. But now that there's so many different modes and a lot of chapters, you can pretty much get XP easier from Dominion and from Store and from all kinds of other places. It's just, this is kind of like if you want to maximize your farm early game, it's okay. But, people don't really use these too much. I mean, if you are really good at farming and you have a great farm clear team and you don't need the third relic slot and you want to make that extra 10% gold, do it. It's not bad. I personally don't use these. And then you have your specials, okay? So these relics matter for team comp in a really big way. You have Fear Devourer, which increases team damage by 8% per second. I believe this is final damage. So very strong. Dwarven Scope. Dwarven Scope gives Mighty Blocks to 2 units. Increases their range by 4. This is great for Hanzi. This is great for Saris. This is great for Priya. Definitely a strong relic. And we'll dive into the team comps later on that. You can get Ancient Staff. Fantastic for skill-based heroes that don't rely on normal damage all that much. It basically gets them helps them get their skills off faster. And focus on amplifying skill damage, so extremely strong. And then Hat is basically the Garam special. You got a Garam, and you want Garam to be the best that Garam can be. When your HP is below 40%, 50% chance to evade. Just so strong. Helps with sustain in a randomized way. I see this a little bit in Arena, I see this a little bit in Strife, and I certainly see it in Garam builds. So, very good. So, all of these, they come from those boxes. And that's going to be all the other fancy relics that you might see in Arena, they don't come from those boxes. You can open those boxes a bajillion times. You're only going to get one of these 4 relics that kind of affect the damage potential of your builds. Something to keep in mind, the stack. So if you're using Fear Relic and you're getting 8% bonus damage per second, and you're using Ancient Staff and it's plus 80%, both of those stack. So really, really important. If we go into the next type is Corruption. I'm not going to go into all these because I will be here for an hour. But notable ones are Rapid Swords. This is important for gang style team compositions where you want to have 5 of the same hero so that all of those heroes get a additional 160% attack speed. Very strong with Hanzi, very strong with Bami, very strong with Priya, very strong with Kanak. That's your gang build, is built around this. Then you have Mask of Hallucination. This is great for a single hero style, so a hero lock where you make a single hero as strong as humanly possible. This gives you a free copy of that hero with 75% of the hero's attack and spell power. So this is extremely strong and is used a lot with any hero lock. So Garam hero lock, a Kanak hero lock, a Saris hero lock, Mel hero lock, which probably isn't used as much anymore. So very strong. The more equipment you put on your main hero, all that equipment and stuff scales at 75% on the second hero. So super good. And then the other ones of note would be Void Relic, one of the strongest relics in the game. Every time a hero dies, it gives everybody 30% more attack and spell power. Very strong for Mel, very strong for Ian, because it's percent based. And if you use summoners like Ray or Ray, Elizabeth, or Mara, they count as allies. So when those little summons die, it procs this, and stacking is absolutely bonkers. The last one of note that I'll talk about is going to be Insignia. So increase damage by 72% immediately. And then basically every time you add another hero to the battlefield, it reduces this. So if you're playing a Grom by herself and you just want her to walk across the battlefield and fight the entire army by herself, she will immediately have 72% more damage right off the gate. Insignia is not affected by Mask of Hallucination. This hallucination does not reduce Insignia by 12%. Doesn't count as a hero. So Insignia plus Mask plus Hat, you now have a Garam that has almost 80% dodge, 72% more damage, and there's 2 of her. So, do with that information what you will. I also have to talk about Glove. Glove is extremely strong. I have videos. If you want to learn about how Glove works, look at my Tayson video. Basically, it comes down to you need to have heroes at different tiers on the field. So a tier 1, a tier 2, a tier 3, a tier 4, a tier 5, and tier 6. For every different hero that's a different tier on the field, there's a plus 3% attack per tier. So your mythic tier, if you have all the different tiered heroes on the field, will be pretty jacked. I use this with Victoria mostly, and it just makes her the biggest boss on the planet. So all of these are coming from the corruption. The chapter 1, through 10 corruptions. So as you can see, acquirable. That's how you get these. You farm the pieces from here. There are other relics of note in this list, so I will talk about them slightly. Banner of Militias is a staple in Strife. The more guys you have in the field, you reduce damage by 5% for each hero. It's really strong, up to 8 people. And then, of course, you do have your altar relics. There's 1 for each altar, and they all give you an additional 5 to the altar, max 15, and they do different things. You could read them. Bloodstained Relic has a lot of great synergy with Ren, because Mighty Blocks don't go away as fast, and super good. And that's pretty much where you get these. Going into the next type of relics currently, it's Arena Now, I do want to throw something at you. This UI is brand new, and there's enough space for another type of relic here. So, just throwing that out there. Anyway, you get these relics from Arena. So if you go to Battlefield and you do your Arena or your Strife, you'll get these things called Arena Points. And the Arena Store, you take these Arena Points and you can simply buy them from here. The Arena Relics are mainly supposed to be built for PvP, player versus player. However, they are so damn good that they are also good in PvE, player versus enemies, environment, whatever, monsters, PVM, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. So, relics of note, combat boots. It increases your movement speed, and if your hero moves a few blocks before punching somebody in the face, it scales their damage by a percentage. So this plus Victoria, super good. Another one of note, Holy Relic of Blessing. You put a hero on a square, and as long as that hero can sit there for 2 seconds, it increases their overall output damage by 80%. I have a fantastic Nabella build video that demonstrates this if you want to see this in action. Teleport relic. You teleport your people to the back line. The people who are teleporting dodge crowd control. So if there is a enemy that does crowd control within the first second of the fight that's throwing you off, you can take your 3 favorite people and put them behind those enemies and let them go to town. So, very, very good. Spike log stuns and pushes back all enemies every 8 seconds. Very good in PvP. Very good for field control. Super, super strong. Then other ones of note: Iron Helm, give your entire group of heroes 5 seconds of CC immunity at the beginning of battle. I do see Helm of Strength in Strife. I do see Helm of Strength in PvP. It's not as good in Invasion. I mean, it is. There's other ways to avoid CC and Invasion with certain characters like Tayson or Belina. There's other CC clears out there, and for you to sacrifice a relic that gives damage in your slot, it's hard. It's a hard trade-off because this does not increase damage. So you're sacrificing damage for 5 seconds of CC blocking. It's situational for sure. Great for PvP because you can pretty much stop all the bullshit from hitting your characters. Like if somebody is doing Mace and they're doing Spike Log as their PvP builds, this will stop Mace and Spike Log from pushing your heroes all over the place. So PvP, super strong. And another one of note, I would say two more. I'll stop at 2. Would be your Penetrating Spear, great for range attackers. Gives all heroes +1 range. That's crazy. It increases damage a moderate amount. If you're doing a ranged gang, this increases 6% per square the farther away it is from the hero. So an additional 36% damage. If you combine this with the attack speed spears, and you're doing a ranged gang, so like Hanzi Gang, for example, or Bommy Gang or Saris Gang, this is pretty strong. This is also strong. It has a lot of synergy with Dwarven Scope. So definitely good. And another one would be Dagger of Sacrifice, which is stronger now than it was before, mainly because of all of the protection Bonuses that the certain legacies you're giving. Consume 40% of friendly heroes' HP at the beginning of battle. And then each hero obtains protection equal to 100% of their max HP. So let's say you have a max HP of 10,000. It's going to consume 4,000 of it and then give you 100% of the max HP. So that person would go from 10,000 to 16,000. Now, if they're wearing magic armor, that gives them 40% more protection. So instead of going to 16,000, it'll actually take them closer to 20,000. So it takes a 10,000 HP hero and brings them to 20,000 with magic armor. So that is pretty damn strong, especially when you think about Tayson. And Tayson gets bonuses, bonus spell power and damage based on their max protection. So, it's strong. It does good things. It's not the problem is it's not as strong as just maxing spell power and attack speed on a Kinect, right? But it's still is worth considering, especially in like Arena, where Arena is you only have a certain number of rounds to max out your team, and if you can have multiple like 2 Taysons, doing damage and generating protection, it's helpful. It certainly is helpful. So, all right, guys, that is going to be my relic video. There are more relics. There are a lot more relics, but I did talk about where to get them. I talked about relics of note. Really, I always try to feature different relics in my build videos, so I will continue to do that. But now you know where to get them and all that fun stuff. Obviously, the game teaches you how to combine pieces to make the relics. You get more stats the more you combine them. That's all obvious. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about what to do in the Forge and ways to get your relics to do what you want them to do in terms of what this means and what these mean. So I'll see you in the next video, and we'll talk then. Later.